Good morning. This is my first video that I'll be uploading, so I apologize if I'm unclear or ineloquent, but I was at work when Trump had his first press conference since he'd been inaugurated. And this morning, I actually got a chance to listen to some of the things he said, and all I can say is, wow. If this man is not impeached within a year, that'll be an indictment on our intelligence and our integrity as a nation. Yesterday, during his press conference, he literally made a statistic up saying that he had won by the greatest margin, had the most electoral votes since Ronald Reagan, and 20 minutes later, he was called out on it by a journalist in the audience. George H.W. Bush had gotten more electoral votes than he had gotten. He only got 306 electoral votes, and George H.W. Bush got 422. President Obama got 365 in his last re-election. It's embarrassing to think that this man represents the United States of America. He is clearly incompetent. He's dishonest, but he's confident in his lack of honesty, which is why so many people accept what he says, because he says it with such confidence. People say it's got to be true. He says it with such certainty, but nothing he says stands up to scrutiny. Whenever he's challenged on anything, he'll either dismiss you and ignore you outright or call you fake, which is something that children do. The truth always stands up to scrutiny, always, because you can prove the truth, but you cannot prove a lie. The only thing that you can prove about a lie is that it is a lie, which is why he doesn't like to be asked questions. His press conference yesterday, I know that it was against the advice of his counsel. Everyone who's close to him knows that it is a bad idea, because the more he speaks, the worse it gets. And he is a living example of a saying that Napoleon had, which is never interrupt your enemy while he's making a mistake. As far as his ties to Russia and his connection to Russia, I'll say it like this. This is the chess game that's being played, and Trump is a pawn who thinks that he's a king. And no one plays chess like the Russians. The last grandmaster of chess that I know of is Garry Kasparov. And even though the Russians didn't invent chess, it was invented in Afghanistan in 700 AD, the Russians have perfected strategies in chess. They know how to maneuver people like you maneuver pieces on a board. And they have used this man's hubris and his need to be needed. He wants to be wanted. He likes to be liked. He hates to be hated, but the only thing he hates more than being hated is to be ignored. And that's going to be his downfall, and it may very well be the downfall of our nation. My name is Steve. I'm just a man and an American. And really all you have to be in this world is courageous enough to accept the truth and have the conviction to speak what you know is true and right, even if it's not popular. And right now what I'm saying, I know it's not even unpopular. It's just that we must continue to call this out for what it is. A shame. And a time to pause and reflect, and to get ourselves active, and to just be aware of the danger that this man is putting our nation and everyone in this nation in. Thank you.